Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for coming along this evening. Yeah, Michelle and I wanted to run this call this evening to kind of introduce ourselves and just let people know a little bit more about us and a little bit more about what the Young Entrepreneur Startup course is about. We wanted to make it more of a conversation, really. So there's no PowerPoints, there's nothing like that. It's just really us. We'll say a few words about who we are and what we're doing, and then we'll just open the floor to questions. So anything you want to ask us, feel free to fire away. I hope that's okay with everyone. Um, so
Fine.
Michelle, did you want to go first?
Oh, I guess.
A bit of an
Okay,
intro.
sure. So I'll just tell you a little bit about me so you know a little bit more about me. So obviously I'm Michelle. I am originally from Cyprus and I live in North Wales. Um, so I have three children and we began home educating 12 years ago. All three of my children are neurodivergent. I'm neurodivergent. We didn't realize that till a few years ago. But we've been home educating for 12 years. We've been actually following an unschooling approach, which works really well for our family because of the neurodivergence. And all through the last few years, I've been helping my kids start their businesses. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 21. I'm 49 now. So it's a lot of years. And I'm on my sixth business now with young entrepreneurs. But I've had businesses from a pet shop because I wanted to rescue every dog and cat in Cyprus. And I thought if I have a pet shop, I have a way to rehome them and educate people. I've had a catering business that won many awards in the UK. And I've had another food business. I've done lots of things. And then over the last few years, I focused my work in sort of the therapeutic elements. I've studied counseling, animal assisted therapy, bibliotherapy, which is using books for therapy, therapeutic writing, counseling and clinical hypnotherapy. And all that was kind of an accumulation because I want to use the power of words for healing. And I do that through books that I write, journals I create, and workshops that I run with a lot of young people, schools and colleges to teach them how to use their words in a more powerful way. And out of that, Young Entrepreneurs was born because it's always been a passion for me to impact young people. For me, young people are the future. Young people are are tomorrow's pioneers, world changers, and that's kind of where my passion lies. Is how can I use my experiences, my knowledge, to empower, equip, and inspire young people to go out there and not just do things when they grow up, but actually now, because my kids are between 12 and 20 now, but they started their businesses as when they were 8. So they've been earning their own pocket money, learning all the skills to do with business and budgeting and money and customer service and interacting with people of different ages. And I've just seen such maturity in them and growth just because of their business projects. So that's kind of, a little bit how we sort of got into connecting with Richard, who's a home educating dad. And then we were like, realized we both had the same passion. I thought, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we actually start to put that into action so that kids are able to do that today, not when they grow up, when after they're 18, after they leave school, after like I feel that's actually really disempowering to say you can do these things, but when you grow up, it's like, no, they can actually do that now and still continue their education, whichever method they're using. So I think that's me. I'm married to a Cypriot, 25 years, who happens to be in Cyprus right now, lucky him. Yeah, that's it. And I have a little dog called Poppy, who I wrote a book about. So that's my first book. And that's this is about our journey with ADHD through the rescue of Poppy. So I think that's it, really. I don't think there's anything else to add. I don't think I've forgotten anything. If I think of anything, I'll jump.
In the closet, yeah. So, um, No, so yeah, I live in Cyprus, as Michelle said. I'm originally from the UK. We home educate our two youngest. So I've got a 20-year-old daughter from my first marriage. She's been all through the school system. She's currently at university studying marine biology and absolutely loving it. And so I've seen kind of both sides of the schooling and the unschool and the homeschooling fence. My two youngest are 8 and 5, and well, Alex, my 8-year-old, he was in school for 2 terms, and then COVID happened, and he never went back to school. And my youngest has never even seen the inside of a kindergarten. She's 5, and it's yeah. I've run my own businesses. I had an event management business that I ran for 15 years. Unfortunately, fortunately slash unfortunately, COVID saw the end of that as well. The hospitality industry really took a battering, and unfortunately, that was one of the casualties of it. Um, but it opened new doors for me, and I'm actually quite grateful for that period in my life because it brought about a complete change. It meant I was at home a lot more because I used to travel a lot with my business. It meant that we were home educating our children, which has been a real journey. It's been fantastic, actually. I never anticipated that it would be as wonderful as it has. And like Michelle, we follow an unschooling approach, so we're more child led than anything else in the way that we approach education. And I also set up a group called the Homeschool Freedom Club because it struck me that it was incredibly difficult, actually, for parents who wanted to homeschool to do it sometimes because of financial restrictions. So, invariably, one parent, or it seems one parent, if both parents are in a 9 to 5, or mum's working a part-time job while the kids are at school or whatever, that to homeschool you've got to lose one income. And I wanted to set out and show people that actually the two weren't incompatible, that you could actually educate from home and you could make incomes in various different ways, whether it's your own business, whether it's forms of passive income, whatever it is, but to show parents that this could be done. And this was really, again, where sort of Michelle and I kind of connected on the entrepreneurship side of things, because I don't see, for me, home educated children, they're not going to fit in a 9 to 5. They're not going to want to work for the boss. I've got a 5-year-old. She has got so much attitude. She's never ever gonna be told what to do by some suit in an office somewhere. I can see it's just not going to happen. So it made sense to me that actually we start to equip young people with the skills that they need to move out into the world to make their own income. Because even if they do choose to go into a job market, there's no such thing as a job for life anymore. And a salary is just one source of income. You need really, ideally these days, I think you need multiple sources of income to have any kind of financial security. So, these were all the things that were kind of in my mind when Michelle and I were talking when we set this up. So that's about me. Michelle, did you want to talk a little bit about sort of the vision that we have for?
Yeah, I'm going to actually read it out to you because if I don't, I will forget bits. But this is kind of, it encompasses what we're about. Richard and I came up with our vision to help also stay focused with what our passion is with this. So our vision is to empower, equip, and inspire young people to confidently pursue their entrepreneurial dreams, creating a future where innovation thrives and positive impact is limitless. We believe in enabling them to live life fully now, tapping into their passions and potential without waiting for adulthood. Our goal is to prepare young entrepreneurs to make a positive impact on society, embracing social responsibility, empathy, and self-expression in their endeavors. Together, we inspire and aspire to create a world where young innovators become leaders and pioneers, driving change and shaping a brighter future for all. So that pretty much says everything we're about, everything that our vision is about. And I think that what makes it different as well is that we want very much to bring a holistic approach to what we're doing. This is not about we're just going to teach how to start a business. We're weaving in personal development, how to create healthy habits, because if you create healthy habits in your personal life, it's going to impact your professional life, it's going to impact your business. So it's a holistic approach. It's about the whole person. And what we try and do is to weave in where, those little personal development nuggets to help them in the personal life and in their business life as well. So it's that. And I think also the fact that because of my background in therapy and experience with that, I have a lot of experience of trauma and obviously my neurodivergence experience. I forgot to say I'm also a foster mom. And all of that will help to create that safe space that's so, so important, which is why we're keeping our groups really small. It's about safe space, confidential, trusted. It's there for all of us to be as one. We are promoting collaboration, not competition. This is not about competing against anybody. Yes, you have to assess your competitors in your business, but this is about how you excel, not about being in competition, like especially within the group. And the idea is that we collaborate and help each other and support one another and encourage one another and inspire one another. And me and Richard, we're all on first names terms. We're not teachers. There is no hierarchy. We're all equals, learning together, growing together, helping each other achieve their dreams. It's really just like a mini family, a mini community, because we want to see our young people succeed. So that's kind of our approach. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Richard. I think that's
No, I think you've really covered it really well there, Michelle. And what I did want to do was just run through really how the course works. So over the course of 16 weeks, we have 16 live sessions. Each live session is around about 2 hours in duration. And during that time, we take the students through different parts of entrepreneurship. So we literally start day one, module one is what is entrepreneurship? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? And we have some sort of inspirational stories of young entrepreneurs. And we also, within that first week, we also run an ikigai. So we get them to really think about what their passions are, what they can make money from, what the world needs, and to combine those things. And that's a guided process that we actually take them through during the live session, because what we don't want is, we want to be able to guide them through these sessions. We don't want to leave things for the parents to have to follow up on or complete at the end of each session. So the idea is that we go through this with the students as they're learning, and then that's done. And there are bits and pieces that they can do as they sort of through the week if they wish to. I mean, Michelle and I will suggest things like maybe TED Talks or some YouTube shorts or some films to watch, some books to read, that sort of thing. But the idea is that's not compulsory. That's there. If they want to do it, they can do it. Also, we have quite an age range of 11 to 18 years. So we have two chat groups. We have a chat group for the students with Michelle and I, where they can ask any questions they have. That's a parent-free zone, so they don't feel restricted or confined in any way in answering. They can answer freely or respond or ask questions as they see. And we have a parents chat group as well, so that again, if you've got any concerns that you want to address, you can come and talk to us directly. You've got our contact details. When it comes to sort of setting extracurricular, if you like, activities like films or YouTube stuff, we will put that into the parents group, because obviously what is suitable for an 18-year-old isn't necessarily suitable for an 11-year-old. So it'll be down to the parent to really make the call on whether they want their child to see that material. And most of it's pretty innocuous, but some of it has a bit of swearing in sometimes, and this sort of thing. So really it's down to the parents. But to go back to the course structure, module 2, week 2 is goal setting. So we take them through a goal setting process, so that they can assess their goals. And the idea is that the sessions are interactive. It's not just Michelle and I sitting there and talking for 2 hours. We make sure that there are break times. We encourage them to get up and move around during those break times and just get a bit of energy up, go use the bathroom, get a drink, get a snack or whatever. But it's not just about us sitting there. We want them to be a part of the journey and to feel that they're a part of the journey and to have as much interaction as possible. So yeah, week 2 is goal setting. Week 3 is making your cool thing. So we talk about creating a product or service and how to make sure it's really great, and then how to grow that idea. And then in the ensuing weeks, we have market research. We have branding, which is what we just covered actually in today's session with our current intake. After that, it's selling and being friendly. Then it's implementation. You know, what practical steps do you need to make to start your business? Money, numbers, and rules. You know, keeping track of money, spending, budgeting, that kind of thing. We will sit with them and make a business plan as well. So the idea is that what they've been learning in the first sort of 8 weeks, they can then actually take that and they'll have the information they need to start putting into a business plan. We'll talk about launching a business, about growing a business, and about how businesses change and evolve over time. We'll talk about how to help other people with our businesses, and this, you know, all sort of falls into the social responsibility side of things. That is something that we want to make really clear, and something that we really want young people on the course to understand is that yes, you want to make money, but that you also, you know, you can do good with that money as well. We talk about, you know, finding friends and mentors for your business, finding people to show you the way, and that, you know, you always keep learning. So you always find you never want to be the smartest person in the room. You know, you want to keep learning. Again, we talk about time management and how to juggle all this, because we don't want them to be just business focused, as Michelle said. It's about balance. It's about having fun with the business as well. We talk about celebrating wins, how important it is to celebrate wins. And then in the final module, and learning from mistakes, obviously, as well. I mean, that's a big part of business. It's an absolutely huge part. And then we talk about sort of, you know, graduation in the final week, and what's next, you know, getting ready for the future, sharing your business ideas, and what really happens after the course finishes. So that's the 16 weeks in a very brief nutshell. There's a little bit more detail on the website that you can have a look through, or I can send you a PDF of it as well. But as I said, the idea is just that every step of the way we try and keep them engaged. In order for the young people that are there, if they don't want to be on camera, they don't have to be on camera. If they want to play with Lego whilst they're listening to us, that's fine. You know, there's no hard and fast rules when it comes to that side of things. The whole point is that everybody is just comfortable. It's a happy space. It's a safe space for them to be in, and they want to come back and learn more each week. And certainly from the current intake we've got, which is our first intake, it's been, you know, it's been absolutely phenomenal, hasn't it, Michelle?
Yeah, it has. It's been really good fun, and actually we're all growing quite close to one another. It's going to be quite sad when it finishes, because I look forward to seeing everybody every week. We have, like, you know, one of the young people who's really funny, and he's always making everybody laugh. He makes us laugh a lot. But the interactions, I mean, the kids are from all over the world, and we have, you know, from all around the world, and it's just so lovely that they're coming together and sharing ideas and engaging with one another. And like Richard said, there are no rules other than we do have an agreement that we send out with the registration form, but the agreement is more about just being kind with one another, polite with one another, not interrupting one another. Those, you know, just basic human politeness. But other than that, there's no rules, as in, it's not school. We're not doing school. We're not doing class. We're not teachers in the official term. You know, we're there, like I said before, as a community to help you create your business. So everything's on the table. You know, you can talk, you can share, but you can also not. We've got some kids who don't have their cameras on, and they don't ever speak or share. Sometimes they'll just put something in the chat, sometimes nothing at all. And then we have others who are much more engaged and more, you know, visible. It's fine either way. It makes no difference to us. The only thing we ask is that their name is visible on Zoom, so we know they're there, even if their camera's not on, just so we know they're there, basically. We don't record the sessions, and that's a safeguarding issue, because we've got under 18-year-olds. In the UK, at least, it's not legal to record children on Zoom, unless you've got explicit permission from the parents. But even if we did, I think that it's highly unethical for us to be putting out recordings of kids. You know, we can't guarantee where those recordings are going to go, so we don't record the sessions. The other reason we don't record the sessions is to allow the kids to be themselves. They, you know, to feel that they can just be themselves, they can say what they want, they can share stuff, they can laugh, they can feel comfortable in that safe, trusted space without worrying where that's going to go afterwards, who's going to be watching it. You know, and so, I mean, we have got, I think, some young people, the parents are around, they're not in the picture, but they're around. So it's not, you know, it's not anything secret, but we're doing it to provide, this is about our young people. It's to provide them the best possible experience so they can do that thing that they want to do, so can realize their dreams. And also the other thing with not recording is it makes them more efficient to turn up. I mean, we've had incredible, what's the word? Not efficiency. There's another word, like the timekeeping. You know, they're all there every week. Obviously, there's been things like I think one of them had a sort of a personal issue that meant they couldn't be on the thing, but they can catch up because we always post all the notes, all the slides, everything gets posted in the WhatsApp chat straight after the session anyway. And we're always available on private messaging as well as in the chat. So if somebody doesn't want to share something in the chat, but they want to message us privately to ask something, we are always available for that. So that's not a problem ever. And yeah, I think that's the main things really. I think we've covered pretty much the core of it all.
So yeah, so if anybody's got any questions, you know, please feel free to fire away.
We've had some really great conversations as well. Like today when we were talking about branding, it was amazing because we were trying to communicate what branding is from different angles, from different ways, and we have like little videos on there, and we were discussing it. And one of our I'm not going to share too much, but one of our participants has a great business idea, a fantastic product, and it was one of the other participants who came up with a phenomenal name for the business. And I love that because we all of us suddenly went, oh, that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. And he was so excited. And he was like, yep, that's the name I'm going to use for my product. And it is a brilliant name. I mean, I could see that product in supermarkets, online. It's a phenomenal idea. And I just love how they all came together to, you know, to brainstorm and share it. You know, there was all sorts of names being shared, and then we just hit on this genius one. But that's the kind of thing that will happen in that small communities, that they're helping each other. And it's really wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see them collaborating and that peer support. And obviously we're not segregating them according to age, all together, all helping one another and learning from one another. Yeah.
I have two questions. The second one formed while you were talking. Maybe I start with the second one. Is there a goal to the course that you in the end have your little project or something, or is it not that you? Was this the goal to create a business with a name? Is this inside of the 16 weeks or no?
Yeah. The idea depends where they're at, because some of the kids don't have when they start, they don't have any idea what they want to do. They just want to go through the process and learn as they go, and then maybe in the process they'll get ideas. We've had some of the kids where it was only like in the last week or so that they suddenly had an idea, and that's what they're going to go with. Ideally, the goal is that by the end of the course they have a completed business plan, which is quite detailed, and sets everything there. So they have this business plan that they can print out, and they can have everything there. And even if they don't decide to go with that business idea, it's applicable to any business idea they want to do in the future, whether it's a service or a product. But what we've encouraged them to do is to pick one for this course, so that they can kind of put the meat on the bones by the things they're learning. So if we're talking about branding, they can just think about that one idea. Or taglines, we were doing taglines and slogans today, so they were able to brainstorm those according to their idea. So by the end of the course, they will have a business plan with an idea, hopefully the name, everything, their marketing will be in there. Their research will have been done. They might even have their logo done already. So they should be, if they, if they utilize the information they're given, they should be ready to start their business by the end of the course. But it's hard for us to, push them. We don't want to push them. Some of them are much more eager, like we're seeing them already. Some of them are ahead, they're doing stuff, they're utilizing things, and some of them are still playing with ideas. And I think a couple are saying, I just want to do the process and then I'm going to decide what I want to do. But I think in the course they will come up with their ideas anyway, because it's kind of inevitable that they do. But yeah, they depends on them, of course. But yeah, should be. That's the idea, that is to be ready with your business.
And we've got a range of, there's a range of potential business ideas in there. I'm not going to sort of divulge too much what they are, but one of the guys on the course, he came in, he's already got a product, but just doesn't know what to do with it. So he's already sort of part of the way down the road. We've got others that sort of want to start a cafe or a tea room, for example. So there's absolutely no way that they're going to do that at the end. That's going to be done at the end of 16 weeks. But as Michelle said, they will be well on the way to that. They will understand how to make it happen.
Yeah. And also we help to break it down so that, if they want to do a tea room, for example, or a cafe, what we are helping them doing is say, okay, well, what could be your first step? So let's say you don't have the investment right now to start an actual cafe, but could you start from home? And if you're going to start baking and selling from home, then what you need to do that, you're going to need a permit from your local authorities. You're going to need to do a course to understand health and hygiene. You need to look into what you can do, but actually you could start it from home, and that could be your first step. And then maybe in a few months, when you've got a bit of investment and maybe somebody might want to also invest some money, you can do the next step, which could be an actual premises. So we are also helping them kind of sometimes break things down, and sometimes it's where we need to help them expand the idea, if they're thinking too small. And we've got an inventor as well in there. So I'm very excited about that, because it's something quite pioneering. I think that if he goes ahead and does it, it could really revolutionize understanding certain science concepts. So it's just phenomenal. It's all just come through them playing around with ideas and words. What was your other question, Christian? Did we answer them both?
Thank you for that. No, the first question was something more general, like two questions in one. How did you decide on the age of 11 to 18, and how does it evolve inside of the group? Can you say something about, because it's, as you said, like a big age span?
It's kind of come from our experiences with home educating, because with home educating, there's no age segregation. When we attend groups and sports and different things, events, in home education, the ages are always mixed. So our children have grown up with not being separated according to age and being able to join peers of different ages. And what we've seen is that it's actually hugely helpful, because you'll see the older kids sometimes mentor the younger ones, and there's this beautiful interaction and relationship that goes on, which is really lovely. It's how it should be. That's the natural way of learning, is peer learning. And also realizing that, so what we do is we actually ask the parents, do they feel that their 11-year-old could handle a course 2 hours a week, a process like that? And some will say no, they're not mature enough yet to handle it. And then some, which we were concerned about initially, we found actually they're flying. We didn't have anything to worry about. So rather than kind of worry about the age, we left it quite broad and we asked the parents to, based on what we've explained, do they feel their child, and does the child think that they would manage this? So because I mean, like, we've got a child who's much older, like I think he's 14, but because of dyslexia, they might be slower than the 11-year-old in terms of typing notes or keeping up with the chat. So we're able to work around that and adapt it. So it's not an age thing. It's more about their ability and the pace that they're at, rather than age. So, I mean, we couldn't go as young as 10. I think that would have been a bit too young. So we just tried to make it as broad as we could. Richard, I don't know if you want to add to that. I don't know if I've covered that.
No, I think you covered that really well, Michelle. And we're seeing that in action. We've got the full range actually in the current intake of 11 to 18. And actually, in some cases, the younger kids are just a bit less inhibited. They come in there, they're just absolutely full of ideas. They get really engaged very quickly, whereas the older ones, it's not cool to be engaged almost, So it's an interesting mix, and yet we've got other ones, haven't we, in there that sort of 15, 16 that are actually really showing the way as well, and are very active, always answer questions, always, So it's nice to have that mix. It really, as Michelle said, they help bring each other on, quite honestly.
Also, when you say I just thought of something and it's just slipped my mind as soon as I thought about it. What was it? Oh, yes. Just to say that we don't, nobody has to share, or we don't, when we ask questions, we don't pick on people to answer the questions. It's not like we don't call upon anybody. We don't go like, Kelly, what do you think about this? Shireen, what do you think? There's no such thing. Again, it's completely up to the kids if they want to answer a question. Some of them will answer them in the chat, some will unmute and talk, some won't at all. And so it's not, again, when we ask questions, it's not compulsory to answer anything or engage or share. It's so relaxed, it's so informal. Yeah. So does that answer your questions, Christian?
Sure, yes, thank you.
Cool. Any other questions?
I wish I had that in my own school experience. Not to answer questions. Yeah, this was always the worst part.
That's why we're doing it. I think, we've gone through the traditional education system. I've gone through a few different schools because I was moved around a lot as a child. So I was in foster care and I was kind of moved around a lot, and I was sent to the UK. So I was moved from one country to another. And I just remember that. So just feeling, the thing that I remember most is the feeling of being disempowered and helpless through school, in that, my voice never mattered unless it fitted in with what was demanded of me. And I didn't have choice. I couldn't choose if I wanted to engage or not engage, or it didn't feel like it that day or whatever. And that's definitely something that we wanted to bring into this, because this is about equality. This is about a bunch of us coming together to help one another. It's not school, and at the end of the day, they don't have to do any of it. It's none of it's compulsory. It doesn't matter. So, that takes pressure off as well. But yeah, thank you for that.
I think this was for Shireen, when we talked about this course, the feedback from her daughter was in this direction, or maybe not. Is it live? She said. I don't have a kid in this age yet, but I think when you're always nervous when you go into a group, and do I have to show me, and when someone asks me, do I have to answer? This is like you get the fear package.
Yeah.
And this makes it, I don't know if I want to join or something.
Yeah, absolutely. We've taken that completely. Yeah, they have agency. They are respected as individuals with agency, and their needs and wishes are respected throughout. There's no pressure ever. We're just there to facilitate. We're not there to force anything or push anybody. We're just there for them to tap into our knowledge and our experiences. And we've also had challenges in our businesses. You know, my first business, I lost it because I was so rubbish with money. And I had to learn, I had to understand that, gosh, I had a really successful business. I did all the other things really well, but I didn't have financial literacy. I didn't understand debt. I got myself into so much debt. I didn't understand, you know, the whole profit and loss very well. And I was borrowing more than I could pay back. And so I learned from that. And that's one of the things we want to really get across, that there's no, you know, there's no such thing as all ways to learn. And with entrepreneurship, you can do lots of businesses, or you can do one, or you can do different things at the same time, or you might do one, sell it, do another, sell it, do another, you know, which is a lot of serial entrepreneurs do that. And for us, it's to say, you know, you have permission to do that. You don't have to be afraid. I think one of the things that we covered was that fear of failure. It's like there's no such thing as failure, because if you don't make mistakes, you're not going to know that this is the path you should be taking. You're going to stay on that path because you're so frightened of making mistakes, but actually you should be here. How are you going to get here if you don't make mistakes? So the mistakes are actually your signposts to say, go here. And they're always lessons, and that's part of growth, and how to cope with those things when they go wrong, how to manage yourself when they go wrong, how to find solutions and be creative, and actually not be hard on yourself either, and understand that that's part of the process. And entrepreneurship, you know, we were talking to them about, you know, the CEO of Netflix and Amazon, and all the things that have gone wrong, all the products that have failed, the movies they've had, the series they've had to take down. We don't hear about all that. We don't see it in the media. We only hear about their successes. So we think they're these big shot entrepreneurs, but actually they've made huge losses. Some of them have gone bankrupt and started again and again. So, you know, we're very real about it because we've gone through it. And, you know, I didn't do everything perfect. And I still make mistakes. So many decades on, I still make mistakes. But, you know, the thing is, we want to inspire them with this. You don't stay there. You go, okay, what went wrong? Clearly I need to learn this. That's my next step. I need to learn more about this. I need to learn more. Where do I learn about it? And we move on. We move forward. So we just want that to be also part of the experience for them. Again, like I said, we're facilitating. We're there to encourage them to say, we've messed up. I've messed up many times. You know, it took me 7 years to publish my book because of my fear of people are going to make fun of me, thinking, who's she to call herself a writer? And, you know, and all of this stuff. But eventually I did it. And then when I did it, you know, it was like, oh, wasn't that bad? You know, so we share all that. We're very real with the kids. It's not about putting ourselves up on any pedestal and saying, we're these big shot, amazing business people. We're doing what they're doing. We're just a little bit ahead, a little bit more experience that we want them to be inspired by and go for it.
Does anyone else have any questions or anything, any points you'd like to make?
Or suggestions or anything you want to comment on? No? Everybody good? Everybody happy? Hey, good. Caroline, were you going to unmute and say, and then I stopped you, or?
No, not at all. I was just going to thank you for all the information. We'd obviously had a big breed, and so it was quite, the information given was quite complete, but it's nice to just see the people and just listen to you speak about it. So yeah, for us this was more just a feeling in, rather we know we want to do it.
Thank you. Fantastic. Yeah, that's what we wanted. It was, you know, when you're signing up to something, you kind of, it's important to connect with, you know, we wanted to see that to give you a chance to connect or to meet us, because maybe you meet us and go, nope, they're definitely not my people. I'm not signing my kid up to do anything with them. Or yeah, we quite like them and we'd like them to do it. So it's an opportunity to see and see how you feel with us, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And any questions that I had coming in, you've answered along the way.
brilliant.
So you've mentioned about being neurodivergent and things like that, and not like the cameras on and they're not being like you know, any little things like that were all covered. So yeah,
Awesome.
we've just been talking and like nodding in
Great.
the background. So
Fantastic. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely to hear. Thank you. Thank you. And
I mean,
obviously,
my only thing was I was saying I don't know whether we should sign your sister up as well.
Well,
siblings.
for a second, actually, if you sign sort of siblings up on the same course, we give a 50% discount for the second person. So
Yeah.
just something to think about.
I
And maybe,
think she'd like to carve some independent space, though.
yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
be together on one of the other day for one and the other day for the other, so they're not in the same group.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And also, if anyone has any, if anything comes up after the call, just message us. You've got our details. Both our contact details are on the page with all the information that we've been sending out. So you can just directly message us if anything comes up. It's not a problem. We're always available while we're juggling.
Oh, sorry. The next step then from this call, if we're happy to proceed, will be to just register. So what is that next step? What does that look like?
I think hopefully you've had a web page. If not, I've got your email address from Eventbrite, so I'll email out the link to the booking page, and you can literally just book and pay through there. And just to say that we offer sort of two options: you can pay the whole £400 in one lump, or you can pay 112, so 4 lots of 112 over basically sort of 3.5, 4 months. If that makes things easier, because we know things are kind of tight at the moment for a lot of people. So £400 can be a sizable chunk of money for some. So if it's easier to split it into 4 chunks, then you can also do it that way. You can pay by card via the website, or it can also provide you with bank details as well. So we try and avoid PayPal because they take the mickey with fees, and plus they are I just hate the way they deal with people and hold on to your money and this sort of stuff. So we try and avoid PayPal if we can, but if that's the only way you can do it, we've got PayPal too.
Plan option, is that listed on the booking part? That's not, you don't have to contact you separately if we wanted to do that.
What, PayPal?
No, you said the payment plan. Is that as an option on the booking page?
It's an option on the booking page, yeah.
Just in case I sign up the 2.
Well, if there's no more questions, then we'll call it a night. So we'll send out the booking page again, anyways, just so you've got it. But it's on the main web page. And any questions, you know where to find us. But thank you ever so much for your time this evening. Really appreciate you giving up part of your evening for us. And be really happy to see your young people on the course starting next week. So it'd be fantastic.
Thank you so much for turning up, everybody. You know where we are if you need us.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.